Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This is Eisenherz and today I have 4 more Fringe cEDH commanders that I want to present to you guys. This time I chose only monocolored commanders, and while they might not be the best of the best, they can certainly hold their own in a competitive pot. So without further ado, let's get started. The first commander I have for you guys is Yeva, Nature's Herald. Yeva is a mono-green 4 mana 4/4 elf shaman that has flash and also gives all of your green creature cards flash. The deck is somewhat controversial because it recently had some tournament success, but is still widely considered to be kind of fringy, because Yeva itself doesn't solve any of the issues mono green has in cEDH. In fact, the combo pieces and outlets are very similar to those of Yisan, Ashaya or other mono green commanders. First, you produce infinite green mana with one of many layered combos such as Ashaya plus Argothian Elder or Argothian Elder plus Maze of Ith. Next, you put the infinite mana into an outlet such as Duskwatch Recruiter to put all creatures into play, or Timur Sabertooth plus Regal Force to draw the deck from Regal Force ETBs. You then close out the game with Shaman of the Forgotten Ways after destroying all of your opponent's creatures with Kogla. Alternatively, you deck or mill your opponents with Gaia Reach Sanitarium or Mikokoro and Argothian Elder. So what value does Yeva provide in this? She's neither a combo piece like Ashaya, nor a tutor like Yisan, or an explosive engine like Selvala. However, she allows you to go instant speed on almost everything. Around 40% of the deck can be cast in your opponent's turns, allowing you to play a draw-go-like strategy that is mostly known from mono-blue decks. This allows you to circumvent removal or hate, and basically sculpt a win in your hand, which can be cast on top of any of your opponent's win attempts, and is very hard to interact with on the stack. And that's Yeva, a mono-green deck that can threaten a win at any point. The second commander I have for you guys is Tergrid, God of Fright. Tergrid is a mono-black 5 mana 4/5 commander with menace that reads: whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent or discards a permanent card, you may put that card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Tergrid does also have a backside, which is called Tergrid's Lantern. It's a 4 mana artifact that reads: tap, target player loses 3 life unless they sacrifice a non-land permanent or discard a card. And 4 mana, untap Tergrid's Lantern. So combined, you have a creature card on one side that gives you a ton of value from your opponent's sacrificing permanents or discarding cards, and on the other side you have an infinite mana outlet that can drain your opponents to death. That's a lot of effects on a mono-black commander, and there is a reason a lot of casual players want to see Tergrid banned. It stops you from doing your thing, and then also steals all your stuff. In cEDH, it's a little less scary because it needs some setup and people can deal with it much better, but it's still annoying as hell, and once it gets going, the value train is hard to beat. The goal is to first ramp out Tergrid, and then follow up with some kind of disruption that forces your opponents to either discard a card or sacrifice a permanent. There are tons of cards that do this very well, like Mind Slicer or Plaguecrafter. Once you are sufficiently disturbing your opponent's hands and field, and thereby stealing most of their stuff, you can set up a combo win. Although mono-black infinite mana combos are kinda janky, you at least have access to the best tutors in the format, and with all that hand disruption you can be certain not to face a lot of interaction. Infinite black mana combos include Rings of Brighthearth plus Deserted Temple plus Scorched Runes, or Bridge from Below plus Gravecrawler plus Phyrexian Altar. But there are some more. The infinite mana goes straight into Tergrid's backsides, which will allow you to then drain your opponents. And that's Tergrid, the bane of existence for casual EDH players. The next commander I have for you guys is Rionya, Fire Dancer. Rionya is a mono-red 5 mana 3/5 human wizard that reads: at the beginning of combat on your turn, create X tokens that are copies of another target creature you control, where X is 1 plus the number of instants and sorcery spells you've cast this turn. They gain haste. Exile them at the beginning of the next end step. This effect allows for some very cool mono-red combos. The easiest combo is definitely Combat Celebrant. With both creatures in play, move to combat, create a copy of Combat Celebrant with Rionya, exert the copy and get an additional combat step. Repeat this process at the beginning of every new combat step for infinite combat steps. Simple yet effective, because the combo pieces can be cast in subsequent turns and are creature based, so very hard to interact with on the stack. Another combo involves Lightning Runner and energy counters, which is something you don't see often in cEDH. Basically, you can do the same thing you did with Combat Celebrant, but you need 3 copies of Lightning Runner to create enough energy counters to continue the loop. This means the combo only works if you cast at least 2 instants or sorceries this turn, which is also pretty doable if you take rituals into account. There are some more combos, like having multiple Godos or abusing Dockside ETBs for aggravated assault. And that's Rionya, a mono-red infinite combat step enabler. The last commander I have for you guys is the Reality Chip. The Reality Chip is a mono-blue 0/4 artifact creature, equipment jellyfish, that reads: You may look at the top card of your library at any time. As long as the railed chip is equipped to a creature, you may cast spells and play lands from the top of your library. Reconfigure for 2 and a blue. This effect is almost identical to Future Sight, Elche of the Infinite, or the new Falco Spara. The main goal of this deck is to use Chip to storm through the library. You do that by casting and attaching Chip as fast as possible in order to cast spell after spell from the top of your library. In order to combo off though, you need 2 more things: Sensei's Divining Top and a cost reducer like Ethereum Sculptor or Cloud Key. Once you have the pieces in play, you can just tap the top to draw a card, put the top back on top of your library, recast the Sensei's Top from the top of your library for free, and repeat the process to draw your deck. Finally, you just cast any win con you like. It could be a Dual Scepter or Twister Loop, or a huge Brain Freeze. To support this storm strategy, the deck plays a lot of top deck manipulation like Tutors or Codex Shredder, as well as cantrips that allow you to manipulate what's on top of your library. Unfortunately though, this deck is vulnerable to some common stacks pieces such as Collector Oof, Drenith Magistrate, Grafdigger's Cage, Rule of Law, and some tax effects. While that's also true for Elche and Falco Spara, those decks have additional color identities for added combo potential or removal. I personally love this card regardless and play it in my Earth deck, where it pulls a ton of weight as a mid-range card draw engine. And that's it, 4 monocolored Fringe cEDH commanders. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to like, share, subscribe and comment. It really helps to get the algorithm to catch on to my videos and get them out there to a larger audience. If you like what I do and want to support me, please consider becoming a patron, and of course hop over to my new Discord server. You can find all the links down below. This is Eisenherz and auf Wiedersehen.